I had to be for a minute. I did a session with my homeboy Sounds, and he got a relationship with Ciara, and we went in the studio. She cut it, and the name of the song was Hit Boy. So I was dumb hype. The situation fell apart. I don't know how. So like I low-key was like disappointed. You know, that's for every producer. Like, don't get discouraged because like this became like a much more legendary track than it would have been. The first sound I ended up using, like which inspired pretty much the whole beat, was this loop I found. So what I did was just the way it cut through is like kind of gritty. You can't avoid or ignore that sound. I just built that breakup. Like I didn't even like start on the beach yet. Like I just was still stuck on like trying to find something to make that tie in. So like I used like 4 individual sounds and made my own break. I found this kick right here. I found this kick right here that went along with it. So when you put that in, you get. And after that, I needed a snare, like some type of top end on that break. So from there, I found a guitar hit. It was, you know, feeling like some old school Dre, Eazy-E type shit. People really got to give Dre his credit. Like, he was going crazy with the break beats.
Well, I'm peeping and I'm creeping and I'm creeping, but I damn near got caught because my people kept peeping. Now it's
when you put it all together, it's like, now it's time to start building the beat. I ended up finding this crazy, dirty sounding bell. Then from there, I found an 808, EQ'd it a little bit, put a kick like pump on it, normalized it. Definitely needed a snare. This part was like Timbaland-ish, you know what I'm saying? So just finding something that was reminiscent of just the energy that he would bring on his beats. Damn near sound like some old school Timbo shit. Then what I did was layered it with another clap snare type sound just to give it a different texture. So when you put them together, it's... By the time I got to this point in the beat, like I was just flowing, I was just gelling. So I was going through sounds, and anything that I felt like added, you know, an extra something to the beat, I added it. So I ended up finding this right here. I found another sound for this turnaround, this break. And it's kind of like some industrial, like just heavy sounding shit. This sound right here, just like to give it a little more energy on the turnaround. The scratch is hard too though. I just like played it off of the snare. And after I added that, I just felt like, yeah, this is done, it's ready. That's what it came out to be. Kendrick came through my crib actually. I was living in Tarzana at the time. I think it was him and Dave Free. Took the beat, and I remember him texting me like, yo, we got one. The energy, the way he flipped it, and, you know, just made it feel like he was really just spitting like with the homies in the backseat for real. Go play. When I heard the line, like him say killing everything for pussy to a motherfucking Hit Boy beat, that shit was crazy. Him shouting me out and liking the beat so much that he wanted to say something about me, like, you know what I'm saying? That mean a lot. He's just a person who is forward thinking, so he always gonna elevate, and I'm excited to see what's next for him, for real.
I wrote that song in the perspective of being 16 years old. I knew who Martin Luther King was then, but being 16, the dream we stood for was money, power, you know, sex, drugs, murder, and things like that. So now that as I grew older, you know, I matured a lot more. You know, I understand what he really represented, you know, peace and unity and love and prosperity. And you can hear that in my music now. C-O-M-P-T-O-N, I win then ball at your defeat. C-O-M-P-T-O-N, my city mobbing in the streets.
I don't know what the fuck Ciara's gonna do with that beat. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect her at all. You know, I feel like she be getting disrespected a lot, man. And she be getting caught up in a lot of shit on social media that, you know, it's not a lot of motherfuckers' business. But, you know, this is the era we live in. People living vicariously through motherfuckers they don't know. But I'm just talking about musically. I don't know what the fuck she was gonna do with that beat. Like, if she has a demo, I would love to hear that shit. Cause this shit is fucking crazy. Shout out CiCi. Remember when there was a rumor talking about she was a man? Y'all might be too young for that. That's how fucked up folks is. Like, a woman that attractive, and they was going around saying she had a dick. That motherfucker's something else.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
My name is Dorian from Group82Music.com, and right here we got Hit Boy talking about how Kendrick's Backseat Freestyle was originally made for Ciara. This beat, man, the reason I wanted to show y'all this video is because did you see all the motherfucking sounds he was pulling from everywhere? Like, first of all, he had to be high than a bitch when he was making this beat, number one. Number two, it's like, that's how you know somebody has a for real gift, because he was throwing in so many sounds. And he probably threw in some sounds in there that didn't work too, but to be able to sequence and structure them sounds, to have them just work on top of each other, I mean, to build us. Backseat Freestyle is one of the most complex beats that I've ever heard. And this was hip hop gumbo. I mean, that bell, what he stacked the kick with, that goddamn scratch. I mean, everything, man. It just, you need to appreciate how somebody can produce at such a high level like that. So shout out to Hit Boy for that. Another thing, man, like when Kendrick got the beat, obviously he had a theme for Good Kid, Mad City. And for those of y'all that don't know the theme, it's basically like a movie where he takes you from the beginning of his life all the way up. I almost say the end to he's probably about 21, 22, and trying to avoid the things from Compton and take you through a day in the life and all that shit. But like, it's just very rare for someone to be that type of songwriter, someone to be that type of rapper where you have a theme in your head, but you're still able to say it on theme because it's a Backseat Freestyle, which fit in the theme of the actual album, Good Kid, Mad City. This video was just posted, man, just to show y'all how talented these motherfuckers are. And I'm not trying to discourage nobody, but when you have a gift for music, you know it. It's not like something that you can kind of develop into. You can become better. You can become better at music, become better at songwriting, become better at rapping, become better at producing, you become better at engineering. But when you have a gift, like you hear sounds differently, and you're able to manipulate sounds and find pockets, that shit eventually happens. There's some people who I know, man, I'm gonna say this about people I know back home, and I love my city, but there's some people I know that back home in Nap, y'all been rapping for 10, 15, 20 years, and you can't sell 5 units of your album, and you haven't made anything that's really resonated with a contingent of people, whether it's at home in Indianapolis or just people online. You might not have the gift for music, man. You might really, really love music, you might study it, but you might not have the gift for that, man. Like, these is niggas that have a gift, right? Like, I feel like I have a gift for music. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this shit. A lot of people be trying to force stuff, and if it's not there, it's not there. And I feel like in music, I talked about this before, you tap into your childhood creativity. And to do that, you gotta be vulnerable. And to be vulnerable, you gotta be honest. And if you can't be honest with yourself, you're not gonna be able to make good music. And a lot of y'all need to really start thinking, are you being honest with yourself? If you ain't being honest with yourself, that's why your shit's not connecting, not resonating. If you are being honest with yourself and you haven't made anything in years that's not connecting or resonating, this might not be for you. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But truly understand that if this shit's for you, something's going to happen where you gonna see that. Like, my first album, Duct Tape. Terrible. Anybody listen to that be like, yo, this rapping shit's not for you. And then 2 months later, I make Sunshine. And people are like, yo, this is actually like a cool song. Even though it's not mixed that well, people still fuck with it 5 years later. Because this shit's for me. And then I make Every Scar's a Story. And then less than a year after less than a year after the Duct Tape comes out, I make Don't Sleep. And I get 1 million streams. So I was able to get positively reinforced along the way. You got to find your positive reinforcements to see if this is truly, truly for you. Because if it's not, man, go ahead and move on to something else, man. Stop fucking around. Another reason I know this is for me is because I've lasted for this long and I got a fan base. And I've built this fan base mainly online. And I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. And my album, True Support, is available for pre-order right now. And I knew when I dropped this album, I wanted y'all to support it. But I wanted to give y'all something in return for supporting the album. The album costs $9.99, so I'm gonna give y'all $249 if you go and buy the album. I'm gonna give you a $249 permanent Spotify playlist placement if you go pre-order and buy the album. All the instructions are in the link in the bio. Go click that link, group82music.com/pre-order. Pre-order True Support, and you'll get a permanent Spotify playlist placement when the album drops. Go click that link. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.
Group